The following is a presentation of the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
The calendar may say it's winter, but it's always a good time to be focusing on the boys of summer. From the stars who make the plays on the diamond to the ones who make the decisions in the front office, let's bring you inside your hometown nine with Inside Twins. Inside Twins is sponsored by Killebrew Root Beer, locally owned and operated. It's how memories are created and legends are made.
Well, hello and welcome to Inside Twins, and let me be the first to welcome you to Twins Baseball 2024. Chris Adavan here in our network headquarters at Target Field. Our show is called Inside Twins. You can join us for a live stream of the program on all sorts of social media channels, our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, the X platform formerly known as Twitter, and we also will take your comments later in the program in segment 3 via Facebook and YouTube. Also, of course, airing all across our fine network of affiliates here in Twins territory and really kicking off the start of the 2024 campaign. 8 shows Inside Twins between now and the first pitch of spring training from Fort Myers, which we will air, of course, across our network as well. Also in that span, there's Twins Fest, there's Caravan, so a lot of ground to cover. And with the new year, we are ready to build on what was a sensational finish to the 2023 campaign. And what better guest to have kick things off for us than Royce Lewis, who joins us from his home in the Lone Star State of Texas. Royce, first of all, Happy New Year, and thank you for being our leadoff hitter here as we kick off 2024.
Well, Happy New Year to you, Chris. And again, I already told you, but congratulations on your new promotion. I love it. I'm excited to hear you every day.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I was upstairs the day you signed at Target Field, and we've come full circle here as I'll be moving on upstairs to join Danny, and Corey will be taking his pretty face over to the TV booth. So first of all, congratulations on a great 2023, and we've got a lot to talk about in terms of kind of how your offseason is going. But I want to start there. There's still a buzz in the Twin Cities about the energy at Target Field over the course of those playoff games. You had a lot to do with that, smacking a couple of home runs. From a player's perspective, do you ever find yourself, whether you're out on the golf course or maybe you're working out in the off season, just having dinner, kind of going back to the place as we see kind of the video of those moments and the voltage of electricity that was running through you?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I get chills just when you said that. Like the energy, it was a totally different way of playing the game. It made all of us, like the game that we already love, we loved it even more. And I think we thrived from that. And obviously our performance, it came in handy and we got some wins out of that. And so I still to this day think the fans had a lot to do with that.
Playoff baseball is different, and I know you've had a lot of great mentors in this game. Now that you've experienced it for yourself, does it match up kind of with what they warned you about?
Oh, that times 100. Absolutely. Yeah. They've told me, like guys like Torrey have told me, hey, your adrenaline's going to be, max, and you're going to be shaking up there, and just the feels of the game. And then, from Joe Mauer telling me, hey, take it all in. And so when I just go up to the plate and I look around the stadium and how beautiful it is and how the fans are all cheering, going crazy, and they showed how badly they wanted it. It just made me want it even more. And so I'm not going to say that it made me hit a home run, but it definitely helped. So that's for sure.
Yeah, you started giving souvenirs to everybody in the crowd there over the course of that Toronto series, and obviously that whets your appetite for the year to come. You got a taste. I know you and your teammates want even more. I go back to a couple of years ago. We had a bunch of guys from Houston. Robbie Grossman was here, Tyler Duffy, Jason Castro, and the Astros go on and win the World Series. And I would talk to them at Twins Fest in the spring about what it was like being in Houston while all that was happening when you had kind of come just a little bit short. You had that experience this year because you make your offseason home in Texas. Rangers end up winning the World Series. Does that make it burn even a little bit more, watching all of that hoopla right in your backyard?
Yeah, especially just, knowing the matchup. If I feel like, if we got past Houston Astros, I think we would have really had a good chance at winning the whole thing. Me personally, I felt like the Astros were our toughest matchup going in. But then again, every team's different, and the Rangers got hot at the right time, and they were a great team, obviously, and they still are. But it has nothing to do with any other team, just what my opinion was of playing the game of baseball and going into a series, looking forward to winning that. And so It's definitely tough, though, going back to what you said, looking around, walking around anywhere in Frisco or Dallas, Texas area, you got all these Rangers hats and fans and World Series shirts, and they're promoted heavily out here right now.
All right. Well, you can do something about that here in 2024. And this has been a different offseason for you on two fronts. One, health. You're not rehabbing anything. You're actually able to just go about working on things to get stronger. How has that aspect been with you? What are your workouts like? Who you're working out with?
Yeah, we got a great group of guys working out with. We got Larnick is a good one, Caleb Hamilton, Jake Cave, Danny Colme. So a bunch of former Twins, really, and then obviously Trevor and I being the main ones here going at it. And we work out pretty consistently, Monday through Friday together, and then Saturdays by ourselves, just because that place gets too busy down there with a lot of kids in that weight room. So those workouts are looking great. A lot of running for me personally. I'm running a lot of resistance sprints, short distance sprints. I just feel like speed for me, and obviously, like you said, being healthy again, it feels good to run rather than like being hesitant or being a little bit off stride. And so I'm looking forward to just continuing doing that.
The other difference in the offseason is so much of a baseball player's offseason is the climb to the major leagues. You've now been to the major leagues. You've established yourself in the major leagues. Does that make the offseason difference in terms of maybe the specifics of what you're working on, whether it be defense like we're seeing here, whether it be the adjustments are coming from opposing pitchers as the book on you gets thicker?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every year I'm always trying to get better, at any part of my game, whether that is, hey, I'm going to work on my speed, or hey, I'm going to work on some power, or whatever it is, defense, offense. And for me, I break it down each individual category. It's like, hey, what did I do defensively? Where can I get better? Third base was an adjustment to make, obviously playing short for about 5 years there, and moving over to third. It was a bigger adjustment than I definitely mentioned. I think once you go through it and you have Giancarlo Stanton up at the plate and you're looking at that big of a human being hitting a 120-mile-an-hour ground ball at you at third, it's a lot different, it's easier said than done, that's for sure. And so I think that's the kind of stuff I'm working on, as well as a lot of hitting adjustments, in the box there, and just trying to fine tune and be more consistent. And then, like you said, in being established, I don't feel like I'm established. I feel like I'm still trying to establish myself in the big leagues consistently to be an everyday player. And to do that, I just got to be healthy and try to be the best version of myself, which is, being in the weight room, getting after it each and every day. And then obviously fine tuning my game.
Royce Lewis is our guest as we kick off the hot stove season with our Inside Twin Show. Questions via Facebook and YouTube for Royce. We'll answer them in our third segment today. Going to play a new game in our middle segment called Photo Album. Go down memory lane with Royce. Have some fun with that one. And later on this month, you'll get a chance to get together with more of your teammates. Twins Fest will be here at Target Field. Obviously, there's going to be a caravan coming up as well. Is Twins Fest something you look forward to as a chance to come out of your workouts and get the crew back together, get the band back together a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. I miss these guys, man. And I think it's just a way to force them out of the house and hang out with me, man. It's fun. I'm excited. And obviously just to be able to see the fans, especially after the excitement of 2023 and looking into 2024, I think everyone's pretty excited rolling in. To see some familiar faces going in before spring is definitely exciting.
Speaking of exciting, and speaking of a big swing, everyone knows about the Grand Slams. Everyone knows about the playoff home runs. I think your biggest swing and your biggest connection point in the offseason was, we're going to have a picture of it here for those joining us on the stream, was that you are now engaged and a very lucky and happy man. Tell us, what was the game plan? Were you smooth? Did you surprise her? Walk us through it.
Yeah, definitely a surprise. Both our families were there. Little vacation up in Paso Robles at Halter Ranch, and my family really helped me out with a lot of the details and getting it figured out with the winemaker there, Kevin. He's great, man. He really helped us out, and I wasn't nervous until literally I got in front of her and started speaking. So when I presented the ring, that's when it hit me, and I was saying, you can't beat that adrenaline rush right there. It was a lot. So I'm glad I was able to get through it, and she said yes. So.
Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, your fiance Sam, an outstanding athlete in her own right, played soccer, right? I believe.
Yep.
And her father was a quarterback for the last Washington Husky team to win a national championship. So I imagine you guys have some definitive rooting interests here this week in college football.
Yeah, we're watching closely, and I also like that quarterback, man. He's real good. So it's been fun to watch. These games have been really cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Now, speaking of cool, when you are an athlete with a certain personality and a certain skill set, you can set the bar for what is cool. And this is something that Danny Gladden and I talked about with you all year. When Ken Griffey Jr. came up when I was a kid, all of us started wearing our hats backwards, imitating the swing. When Joe Mauer was coming up here, everybody's growing sideburns out all across Twins territory. Danny thinks this is going to catch on, and I think he's right, the Royce Lewis eye black. We have a shot of it here. And you do not do your eye black in the classic way. What is the root of, I can't even describe it. It looks like, I know, a migrating geese that are about to collide on your nose. But what is the root of that? Because I believe we're going to see a lot of kids across Twins territory wearing their eye black like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I on Instagram, I'll go on some DMs and I'll see some stuff and pictures, and I'm tagged in some stuff that's like the eye black. And then I got some photos from people in our front office, their kids, and then neighborhood kids wearing the eye black just like that. And I remember even, Derek Falvey called me in the offseason for Halloween and said, hey, my son wants to know how to do it. And we FaceTimed and we planned it out. So, basically I started doing it because I saw, a couple other players, someone started doing almost like cat whiskers. And I was like, I don't know, man, maybe if you do a little bit thicker, because I still want the eye black to actually work and do its job. And so I did. I just did a little bit thicker. And it caught on, and it was definitely like my own. I made it my own. And so I think, kind of like we said, hopefully it catches on, but if not, it's my own thing. So
you keep hitting home runs, you keep smiling like you are, and there's going to be a lot of thick cat whiskers across Twins territory and beyond moving forward. Now, that was a wonderful picture. We're going to check out some more pictures with Royce Lewis as we continue with our photo album session. We'll take a quick break here, right here on Inside Twins and your home for Twins baseball. Our show is Inside Twins. Chris Atterbury from our network headquarters here at Target Field, joined by Royce Lewis. Target Field was rocking in the fall thanks to Royce and his teammates, hoping to rock again all summer long across Twins territory. Now, for those of you joining us streaming this live across all of our various social media platforms, or if you're joining us across our fine radio affiliates here in Twins territory, you can go back via the Twins Facebook, YouTube channels. You can watch the visual element here with Royce, and you're going to want to watch this particular segment. We call it Photo Album. Royce, we had some help with this one, and we're going to throw up some pictures, and we're going to have you almost play caption contest. First and foremost, can you tell us about this guy? Good-looking football player. I think that's a Cal State Fullerton uniform, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Chico State, number 93, got the soft fro going a little bit. Who are we looking at here?
That's my dad, man. That's Pops right there. He's looking good. He's looking fly, and that's a lot of the athleticism coming from him, but also Mom too. So we'll see what other photos we got. That looks good.
Yeah, that did look really good. Right now, we talked a lot about your mom and what she's meant to you and the necklaces and whatnot on past shows, but we wanted to get Dad some love in there a little bit with the old football gear. 93. What was he? Was he a D end? What was it? What did he play?
He was wide receiver. Yeah, he was fast, man. He had scholarships to USC. He had some stuff going. So, he was really good in his heyday.
93 for a wide receiver, huh? He's carving his own path there. That's a good look. Good look for him. All right, well, let's say you wanted more pictures. Let's pop this one up here. When I watch you play and I talk about you hitting with guys like Paul Molitor, everybody talks about how long you keep the bat in the zone. We're now watching a picture of you at, what are you, about 12 there, 13 maybe? Long, skinny legs, and walk me through the mechanics of your swing here. You're playing for a team called the Bolts.
Yeah, looking a little shy there for sure. It was my first tryout with this team. It was a travel ball team for the Bolts, and we were trying out for the team. And I think I want to say I was like about 11 years old, and so I was nervous in front of all these guys and taking BP, and there was no turtle. It was kind of funky. It was different. It was different than what I'm used to. No cage. But yeah, it looked good. The swing, you can see it there. It's not fully ready, but you can see it. So I don't know what the scouts saw of me, but they saw something.
Well, I'm not worried so much about you, about the kid that was coming in to hit after you. He only went up to like your shoulder. It was like I don't know if he was at the wrong tryout, but he was. You were towering over him there. A little youth baseball with the Bolts. I assume you made the team, right?
I did make it. That team was really good. It was a fun team.
Another fun team, J. Sarah High, where you are one of 2 alums to play in the major league so far. More on the way. Let's take a look at the photo album from J. Sarah. There's you posing for the overhead drone camera. Little celebration at home plate there. I like those uniforms, by the way.
Great uniforms.
Yeah,
the
present
best.
you with your jersey. Now, explain what's going on here. I would describe it, but I don't know what you are wearing. We have a guest. Drew Halverson thinks it's a Korean sauce packet costume that you are wearing. I know there are fuzzy slippers involved. What are we looking at?
So there was a Saturday Night Live with Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake, and they did like gift bags, and they were doing it for Christmas time. And so I was supposed to be the gift wrapping paper, and then my buddy Al Stewart was the gift bag. And my mom actually handmade both of these for us. And then
she
we wore
made
white
those.
tie. Yeah, oh yeah, she is creative, artistic. She could do all these things. Pretty much anything in the house, if it was broken, she would be making it. So she could do it all.
And why were you wearing the gift bags? Was that Halloween? Was that Christmas or just Tuesday?
That was a Halloween game. So we have every year our head coach, Brett Kay, his birthday is Halloween. And so we did our Halloween game like about the day before, the week before, whatever it may be, before break. And we play in our costumes a little game. And so it was really fun. And man, we try to win the costume every time. I think I won maybe 2 or 3 times. So
okay, did you win with this costume? We know you love Batman. We didn't know you necessarily like to dress up as Batman, but I think we have a shot here of I think it becomes Batman. There's you swinging with a bat, and then there's you looking, I guess, like Batman. I don't know if that's a Clooney Batman, if that's a Val Kilmer Batman, if that's a Adam West Batman.
That's a Batman onesie right there. That's what that is. that was the onesie day for school, and so we were able to wear our pajamas, and that's what I decided to wear.
And a cape.
Came with a cape. You got to be a superhero. So that looked. I thought it looked good at the time. Now it looks a little too tight. I'd probably prefer to get something baggier, a little bit more comfortable. But I like it. I like what it looked like back then. So
what you're in high school here, correct? Right? With the sweet Batman onesie. Okay, well you have upgraded your apparel since then. Now that you're a big league star. So let's see what you look like now when you dress up. And there's Dr. Evil right there, right in the middle. And I guess the great story here is not only did you look like Dr. Evil on the plane for dress-up day, you then hit a grand slam. And talk to me about the thought process of throwing the Dr. Evil pinky up to your dugout as you rounded the bases.
Yeah, it was funny. Obviously, Pablo was one of the masterminds, and him and Farmer and a few other guys in picking the costumes. And so they said, give him Dr. Evil. And so Pablo kept joking with me about Dr. Evil. And then obviously he gave me that, looking at me in the dugout. So when I looked back at him, I said, I got to give it back to him. And so I did, and everyone started laughing. And then I know Hank was like, "What are we doing here at first? Are we doing Dr. Evil? Or are you gonna throw me? Are you gonna throw me the normal, like the football? What are you gonna do?" And so we were just talking about it, and he was giving me jokes. But I thought it was a good play on the costume that they designed for me.
I like it. And when you hit a grand slam, everything's a good play. So as I recall, that was your 5th grand slam as we were in Chicago. All right, that's our photo album segment here. And Royce, I have to say, outstanding bang-up job on the photo album. And again, for those of you tuning in across our fine network of affiliates via the radio, check out Facebook, YouTube, your Twins social media channels. You're going to want to see these outstanding pictures of Royce Lewis. The show is Inside Twins. It's brought to you by Killebrew Root Beer, locally owned and operated, how memories are created and legends are made. We'll take one final break. When we come back, we'll take your questions for Royce. Short pause right here on your home for Twins Baseball. Our show is Inside Twins. Chris Atterbury with you, the first of 8 editions of Inside Twins. And nobody finer to kick it off with than our buddy Royce Lewis, joining us from his home. Been a busy offseason already for Royce, and we will be seeing Royce and company at Twins Fest, and then obviously spring training just around the corner as well. And Royce, we're going to take questions that we've taken in via Facebook, YouTube, various Twins channels today. One of them is what's Max Kepler's phone number. I don't want you to answer that one, but there's about 12 young ladies who have already asked if you could share Max's digits via social media. I get the first question, and we've had a lot of discussions here in the studio about baseball cards. And, with the generations, the cards have changed. They've gotten fancier and they've gotten different. Were you a card guy? Like, did you collect baseball cards or do you keep track of your own cards now that you're a big leaguer?
Yeah, I now I definitely keep track of my own. I get them sent as soon as a new card comes out at the end of the year. Well, if they made 10, if they made one, I just ask for every one, at least one, hopefully 2, 3, or 4, so I can pass them on to my family too. But back in the day, I used to have these binders. I don't even know where they are now. They're probably at my house back at home with my parents. But I used to have a binder like red, blue, green. I used to have like 5 different sports. I color coordinated them. So I used to collect a ton. Absolutely.
That would be something to find. If they ever dig that out of the attic, that would be something absolutely to take a look at. All right, let's jump into some questions here. This is from Jane. Everyone wants the team to go further. Do you have any personal goals in addition to team goals this coming year?
Honestly, yeah, of course, I want to stay healthy for a majority, if not all, the season. That's every year a goal of mine. And I haven't thought about anything else personally other than, I want to go further as well. We got that taste, and I'm just really excited because I think that we have the team and majority of the same guys coming back, and we're looking forward to getting after it.
I'm glad you said that because so much of the talk this time of year with every fan base, and Minnesota no exception, is, well, who have they added? We want to add. We want to add. And I'm looking at a full season of a healthy Royce. I'm looking at a healthier Byron. I'm looking at a healthier Carlos. And I'm thinking, there's some pretty good guys here that we didn't see at their best in 2023. I think there can be a lot of improvement just with the same people coming back into the clubhouse next year.
Absolutely. And I think another thing to, not dismiss is that our system has been so amazing, with all the youth that we have basically just sitting in AAA waiting for an opportunity. And once they get the opportunity, they're really good down there as well. Because, I played with these guys growing up my whole career. And so knowing a bunch of them, I think that those are your replacements right there. If you had to say replacement, that they can take over and handle the reins if someone were to get hurt, which obviously we're praying no one does, or get traded or whatever it may be. I just think that a lot of our guys are in the system right there in front of us, just like a Cody Funderburk, Trevor Larnach, guys that have already helped this year.
Yeah, a lot of great depth, and that was the name of the game in 2023, and certainly depth is going to be critical in 2024. One of those guys, Brooks Lee, I hope he came up and congratulated you when you were in Paso Robles. You were in his neck of the woods there when he was in San Luis Obispo. Herb Wells joining us here from Facebook. Who were your idols when you were a kid? You're still a kid.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it at times, but no, I grew up loving Derek Jeter just because he looked like me, same kind of parents. He was a shortstop, obviously, for the Yankees, and he won all the time, and that's what I wanted to do. And I love the jump throw. But there were some other players, obviously, Torrey Hunter, Matt Kemp. I did grow up watching Carlos and Javier Baez and Lindor, too. And those are all, again, kind of shortstops, center fielders types, just athletes on the diamond that I thought had a good flair to their game and competed each and every day.
Yeah, and each of those guys has like a little special something too, right? Like they do it a little different, whether it's Baez with the hands and the tagging or, they all have so much that they bring to the table. Great question. We appreciate all of them coming in via Facebook and also via the Twins YouTube channel. From Morgan, how do you stay so calm during big at-bats like the ones in the playoffs?
Yeah, great question. For me, a lot of it is just breathing and just understanding that just as much pressure I'm feeling right now is probably 2 times, if not more, on the pitcher because he's got to face not only me, but 9 other great hitters or 8 other great hitters in this lineup. And so I just take advantage of having the opportunity that I'm there and playing the game that I love. And when you think about that, you kind of just naturally relax and just focus on simplicity. Simplify your approach at the plate and know what you got to do and accomplish and wait for that mistake to be made by the pitcher and then take advantage.
There are certain guys who just look like they're having fun in those moments, and I would put you in that category. Are you having fun? Are you seeking those moments out?
Absolutely, yeah. I love it. I love when I I guess, quote unquote, the bright light comes on. I like being center stage and taking advantage of that opportunity and being the guy that everyone wants at the plate.
That's words of wisdom from Royce Lewis. Jacob joining. What opposing players have you become friends with since making your debut? A lot of people don't think about that angle of it, but you end up broadening your world in this this little game of ours in which you end up crossing paths with a lot of folks.
Absolutely. I'll say this is it's a tight-knit group. As soon as you get into the big leagues, everyone seems like there's like a committee of just guys that just take care of each other and love on each other and know how hard it was to, the grind of actually getting up, playing every day for one, and then just getting to the big leagues. It's not like the NFL where Bryce Young gets drafted, he's now the starting quarterback. That doesn't happen it doesn't matter if you're first pick or last pick, you all have to go through the same system. And so, long story short, I have friends on every team. So I'd say, which team are you going to ask about? Because I literally love all these guys, and I grew up watching them. I idolize a lot of their game and specific different ways. And so, whether it's the Blue Jays and Vladdy Jr., who I became friends with as I played against him more and more, or Bo Bichette is another one. That's who we recently played. But just pick a team, I would say. And I guess I don't have any friends on the Yankees, so.
You just made a lot of people smile around Twins territory with that particular answer. Royce, we got time for one more question here, and it's going to come from Bennett. All right, you talked about Carlos a little bit. We saw him make, again, unforgettable defensive play at shortstop in the postseason that is one of the all-timers in Twins history. What's it like to play next to him, especially as a guy who kind of modeled his shortstop game after Carlos a little bit?
Oh yeah, still to this day. I mean, it's you get chills. Like, I just get in shock of like, this is actually happening. Like, this is a guy I totally grew up watching, and my dad took me to watch him play when he played the Angels, when he was on the Astros. And I met him down in the tunnel before the game started, and I was like, this is before I got drafted. So he was like, oh, I heard you might have a good opportunity getting picked high in the draft. And I was just looking at him like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. So, I was just happy to see him. But and then obviously go full circle now, and now we're working together, and I'm learning from each and every day. And he's been such a great mentor for not only me, but all of us, especially young guys, but even the veterans in the clubhouse. Like, just a different way of learning how to win, play to win each and every day. And it's very, very special. He's one of the best leaders I've ever had on a team, and between him and Buck, our team's very lucky to have both those guys as leaders. But man, on the infield, I can tell you each and every day, this guy talking to me mid-play, mid-pitch, right before the pitch, whether it's like just something fun, like, hey, this guy can hit a little bit, at the plate, and we're talking about Seager or Yordan Alvarez, or if we're at the, in the field and we're just talking about a play, or hey, be ready for this, or hey, be ready for this, or, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And he's always saying this stuff, and I'm taking it in every time, and I'm like, people don't even see that because they're watching the pitcher, he's getting set, he's about to make the pitch, but he's talking to me, and I'm learning mid-game. And so that's kind of stuff that ultimately is going to make me better at the end of the day. I'm excited about.
I think fans got a glimpse of that when it came out after the playoff game, the pickoff play, right? Hey, Sonny, we're going to have a chance to pick a guy because they can't hear the third base coach. A little subtlety like that. And then it ends up potentially changing the game and helping the Twins win a game. Royce, it is fantastic to catch up with you. We appreciate you kicking things off for us here on the Hot Stove Show. Look forward to seeing with you in a couple of weeks at Twins Fest. And then here's to a healthy and prosperous 2024 for the Minnesota Twins, kicking things off down in Fort Myers. Thank you, my friend.
No, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. It's been so fun. I love the photos.
Yeah, the photos are good. I'm not going to tell you who to blame for some of those pictures, but I will say this. I'm going to need your mom's number before Halloween because I got to get some costumes put together here for the studio. I'm thinking she might be the one to go to. Royce Lewis is our guest, and we couldn't ask for a finer way to start our Inside Twins program here in the Hot Stove Show in 2024. It's brought to you by Killebrew Root Beer, locally owned and operated. How memories are created and legends are made. Royce adding to his legend as he has set the bar high as our first guest of the year, but we'll do this all again next week, all across Twins social media platforms and all across our fine network of affiliates right here on your home for Twins baseball.